In this video, I'll show you how to use SharePoint as a knowledge source for Microsoft Copilot Studio agents. Now, SharePoint can be used as a knowledge source for generative answers. It can be used to ground the data to a specific document within SharePoint. Now, you can specify the SharePoint URL or a point to a SharePoint list. Now, SharePoint list is a new capability. I have already covered that in the separate video. Now, SharePoint URL, the moment you specify the SharePoint URL, it will identify a list of document libraries. And then within that document libraries, you can store files. And then you are technically pointing to a file within a SharePoint document library. SharePoint data can only be available for authenticated users. So make sure that the agent you build has a specific set of authentication which is related to SharePoint. SharePoint files get uploaded into Dataverse. Now, the agent responses that use SharePoint as a knowledge source aren't included in the conversation transcripts. The context is basically on behalf of the user chatting with the agent. You're using the agent settings configuration configured for the specific agent. Now, as you see over here, this is a prompt which you get. You specify the SharePoint file or folder URL, and then your file gets connected with the knowledge source. Now, this is the interface. I have already created a site, Brisbane site, and then I have pointed that particular site to retrieve the information. Now, a simple example, what I've done, I've uploaded a simple Excel file which has name, manager, and this file is uploaded into, say, one of the document library. And then I just asked a question, get me manager of Girish, and then it has responded properly. Now, let me show you in action. So first, let me show you the agent which I've created. So I've created a simple agent SharePoint demo, and this agent basically has no instructions in it. Okay, so I'm gonna use this particular agent. Now, first, let's prepare an Excel. So I'll open an Excel document. I'll say click on blank workbook, and here I will type in. Let me type in employee ID, name, and department, and maybe I'll just put a manager as well. So employee ID, name, department, and manager. Employee ID 1, 2, 3, 4. Name is John, Jim, Jason, Jones. Department HR, IT, IT, finance. And manager is Jim, Jason, Jonathan, and Jimmy. So this is a simple list which I'm going to use. So what you need to do once you create an Excel, make sure that you convert this into a table. So I'll just select this and I can go ahead and say insert table, and I'll name this as table as what is it? Where is the data for this table? Sorry. So what you need to do first, select this, insert table, and where is the data for your table? You have pointed it correctly, my table as headers. You click on OK, and then this is your table. Now if you want to rename your table, click on table design and call this table as something. So I'll call it as employee. Now this is an employee table. So let me save this file. So let me save this in my desktop. So let me go into the other screen and save it in my desktop. So we go to browse and desktop, and I'll call this file as employee log. Click on save. Now what I'm going to do, I'll go into the knowledge source, and here I'll go to add knowledge, and from here I have an option to select SharePoint. So I'll click on SharePoint, but the file is not yet in SharePoint, right? So what you need to do, first go into the SharePoint site. So I have the SharePoint site Brisbane. Now I can create a separate document library, or I can use the one which already exists. So I have this document library by default created. I'll go ahead and upload files, point to the desktop, and here I will select the the file. So employee log is the file. It says the file is in use because this file is already open. So let me go ahead and close the file. So I'm close the file, click here, employee log. Now the employee log file will get stored in the SharePoint. So if I open this file, you can see the same information which I just typed in. Okay, let's go to the agent. Now here I'll go to SharePoint. Now here I can type a SharePoint site or I can browse an item. So I go to browse items and I have an option to even pick a list as well. But this time I'm just going to use the site. So I've got this Brisbane site and employee log as an Excel document. Click on confirm selection and here I can just type in instruction. I'll say this file will provide information about an employee details like name, department, and manager. And manager. Click on add to agent. Now what it will do, it will SharePoint will is only available to the authenticated users. So it will start adding this as a knowledge source. Now if you see over here, it has added a type as SharePoint and the status is ready. So it has done it very quickly. We have an option to edit it and then add some more description, mark it as official source, mark the status as so as you see the status is ready. I can make all those changes, but as of now I won't do any change. I'll go to settings and I'll show you the security part. Now make sure that the security is always authentication as the middle one, which is authenticate with Microsoft. Enter ID authentication in Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, Power Apps, or Copilot. Now here, let's go ahead and trigger the agent. So let me publish this agent. You need not publish it. The agent will always be ready. So this publishing will happen in the background. So just click on refresh over here and maybe let's reload this agent and I can ask some questions. So let me go to the employee log and say, which department does Jason belongs to? So let me ask that, which department does Jason belongs to? And it has given me the proper reference. It says Jason belongs to the IT department. Then we can ask a question. Who is the manager of John? And it says John's manager is Jim, who works in the HR department. So it has given you some extra level of information as well. Now, if you don't want more details, then you can explicitly specify in the instruction that only provide information on what is asked. Now, what we have done, we have created a SharePoint document library. So we have created a file in Excel and then uploaded that in a SharePoint document library in a SharePoint site and mark that as one of the knowledge item for the agent. Now, what is the use of this? Now, say take for example, if you have a workflow approval process for say leave. So you have this database. Now this database it is a Excel document living in SharePoint. It can be a dataverse table, it can be any system database. Now we have just taken an example of Excel document which is getting stored in SharePoint. Now say take for example, if you have a leave approval process and if you want to extract the information of say the person who is logged in, say I'm Girish, so I'll put my name over here. It will identify the person, it will identify the department, it will identify the manager, and then you can pass on this information to any tool which you use to approve the leave for specific employee, or maybe you can use this to extract information about employees, more details, like if the employee belongs to IT department, then route the ticket to the IT department queue. So there are multiple use cases, but this demonstration is only to show you how you can use SharePoint as a knowledge source and technically you're using a document within the SharePoint as a knowledge source, and then that information is getting surfaced out by the agent. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.